Hello, everyone, and welcome to the super quick version of nominations for Seminole County PTAs. So first of all, check your bylaws. Your bylaws is going to tell you exactly who you're looking for. When you're doing your nominations, it is only for the officers of the association, i.e. the PTA. Your officers is your president, secretary, treasurer, and vice president, or multiple vice presidents if you have more than one. Make sure you find your nominating committee. This nominating committee has to be elected at a general meeting. This is typically your winter general meeting in December or January. If you haven't already elected them, they have to be elected at a general meeting. Schedule your general meeting ASAP, get your nominating committee elected, and let them know what they have to do. You want them to be volunteer, just like anything else. They have to be willing and able to do it. The president will appoint a temporary chair, and from there, that's it. That's all the president involvement of the nominating committee. Once those 3 or 5 people are elected, the president's like, you're the temporary chair. And then the temporary chair schedules the first meeting. The nominating committee picks their own chair. President doesn't get involved in nominations. They don't know who's applying. They can recommend people to apply, but they do not have any involvement in any of the discussions. This is the one committee presidents are not allowed to be an ex officio member of. First committee meeting, they select their chair. Focus on your president, your secretary, and your treasurer. Those are the 3 that you have to have in order for your PTA to exist. In order to be in compliance, you also have to elect any necessary VPs, but your PTA cannot function without a president, secretary, and treasurer. So make sure those are the ones that you're prioritizing. Your PTA interest form, make sure it's telling people the time commitment that they're going to do. Give them a brief description of what activities they might need to do. Be upfront. Make sure it's one application for everything. Again, your nominating committee is only going to be putting forth the slate of officers, president, secretary, treasurer, VPs, but they can collect the information for all the potential chairs just so people don't have to reapply. Once the officers are selected, the nominating committee will then hand over the remaining applications to the new board, the new EC, so they can pick the chairs for their board for next year. But you can do it all in one application. But again, nominating committee is only going to focus on the officers. That being said, if someone applies for something else and based on their skills or their interviews, and they may be interested in being an officer and you don't have any applications, you can still absolutely talk to people to see if they're interested in being an officer, but you do not have to worry about signing anybody up for anything. Just be clear that the chairs will be chosen later. Promote this to everybody. Be fair. Make sure you're telling everybody about the role. Talk to your principal. See if he'll send an email to incoming students that you don't even know yet. Talk to everybody. Sign up for those curriculum nights, parent nights, whatever you've got. Talk to people. That is the best way to get people interested in doing the role. Advertise it everywhere that you can. Remember to send it. Here's some example Facebook posts. Remember, again, even if someone wants to continue in the role, your president, your secretary, they still have to go through the nomination process. They still have to be reelected. Elections are every year. Nobody gets to just pick who's on the team. The president doesn't get to pick. As we said, they're not even allowed to be involved. The principal doesn't get to pick the new chairs. The current board doesn't pick the new chairs. People don't just assume they're signing up, which is great. We love them. We want them to come back. But everybody, even existing board members, still have to be elected. And don't forget that even if they want to continue however many times, your bylaws will dictate how many years in a row someone can continue in a role. Usually it's 2, but the maximum is 3. Check your bylaws. All right, selection process. Make sure that you interview everyone. Again, don't just sign someone up if they don't know what they're doing, if they're not familiar with the role. Make sure that everybody has clear expectations. Don't fill a role just to fill it. Make sure that everybody wants the role at least a little bit. We know that nobody wants to jump up PTA, but that's fine. Make sure everybody has a conversation on what's expected and what they are expected to do. Don't be weird about it. Don't be having side conversations. Make sure that everybody gets the same chance. Everybody is included. And make sure that if someone can't do an interview during a time, accommodate them. You want new people on your board. Again, pick people for their teams and their strengths, especially people who are not familiar with PTA. They may not know what they're applying for. Someone may think, oh, yes, I want to do reflections, but realistically, they have tech skills and organizing skills. They may want to do a different one. Make sure when you're talking to people, especially people who have not been on your team before, that you understand what their strengths and opportunities are and put them in the role ideally that will best meet their strengths and availability. Don't set someone up for failure by giving them a role just because you need to fill it and you know and they know that they can't do the role. Keep looking for the right person. At the general meeting, you present your nominations. Typically, people may run from the floor. That's going to be in your standing rules, but your nominating committee will submit one person from each of the roles. There's templates available. So the nominating committee will submit one person for each of those roles, which will be president, secretary, treasurer, and any vice presidents that are in your bylaws. People have to be a member before they can take office, but they have to be a member for 30 days in order to vote. If there is only one person for each position, then you can do the verbal vote. If there's more than one person, then you have to go into ballots and all of that. There's plenty of information here on these templates. To skip through all of this, please read it. If you need any help with running your nominations, please reach out to Shelley at president@seccpta.com. The good news is there's a script. It's available on our website. Check it out. It makes it easy. There's also a script if you don't have a nominating committee, but you still need to run, even if you don't have someone, you got to run your elections and elect the ones that you have some. So if you have your president, secretary, and treasurer, and you don't have opens for you don't have VP spots filled, you still need to have your election in April and or May, depending on what your bylaws say. Lots of forms, letters, templates, lots and lots of places to find ideas. Reach out to SECPTA. We're here to help. More resources, more forms, nominations, la la la. Check all this out. You're welcome. If you have any questions, message Shelley.